The night was heavy with an eerie stillness as Scene, a solitary trucker, navigated the desolate highway stretching through miles of thick woods. The dashboard of his worn-out truck flickered dimly, casting long shadows on the empty road ahead. The only company he had was the rhythmic hum of the engine and the occasional crackle of his radio. Scene had been on the road for hours, the monotony broken only by the occasional glow of his headlights illuminating the twisted branches that seemed to claw at the darkness. The isolation was a familiar companion, but tonight, an unusual chill lingered in the air. A sense of unease settled in the pit of Scene's stomach, a feeling that something was about to unravel. As he drove, a crackling voice burst through the radio static. "Hey, Scene. Long time no see. Mind if I join you on this night drive?" The voice was familiar, belonging to an old friend, Jake, who also drove a truck. Scene hesitated but finally responded. "Sure thing, Jake. What brings you out here?" Jake's reply sent shivers down Scene's spine. "Got a tip about a shortcut through these woods. Saves a lot of time. Thought we could make the trip together, keep each other company." Scene glanced around at the oppressive darkness encircling his truck, skeptical about the supposed shortcut. Nevertheless, the prospect of breaking the monotony and having a companion on the road convinced him to agree. Jake provided directions over the radio, leading Scene deeper into the labyrinth of trees. As they ventured further into the dense forest, the trees closed in, casting eerie shadows on the winding road. Scene couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, and an unsettling tension hung in the air. The once comforting hum of the engine now felt like a distant echo in the vast silence of the woods. Unknown to Scene, this night drive was about to take a sinister turn, with the looming darkness concealing secrets that would soon unravel before his eyes. The makeshift path through the woods became increasingly treacherous as Scene and Jake navigated the tight turns and narrow stretches. The radio crackled occasionally, the signal weakened by the thick foliage overhead. Scene's unease grew, a knot tightening in his stomach with every mile deeper into the unknown. As they rounded a bend, the headlights caught a glimpse of an old, dilapidated mansion nestled among the trees. Its broken windows stared like vacant eyes, whispering stories of forgotten times. Jake's voice echoed through the radio. "Scene, let's take a break at that mansion. I've heard it's a good spot for weary travelers." Despite the unsettling vibe, Scene reluctantly agreed. The trucks came to a halt in front of the decaying mansion. The air was heavy with a musty odor, and the silence seemed to amplify the creaking of the mansion's time-worn structure. They stepped out, their boots crunching on the gravel as they surveyed the eerie surroundings. Scene couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. As they explored the mansion, shadows seemed to dance in the corners of his vision. Suddenly, the radio squawked to life. But this time, it wasn't Jake's voice. A raspy whisper sent a chill down Scene's spine. "Leave this place, Scene. The shadows hunger for company." Panic surged within him as he searched for the source of the ominous warning. In the dim light, Scene saw fleeting glimpses of figures in the shadows, distorted, indistinct forms that seemed to move with a life of their own. Fear gripped him as he realized the mansion was not abandoned. It was haunted by the lingering spirits of a forgotten past. The truckers hurried back to their vehicles, but the once familiar path through the woods seemed to twist and turn, leading them in circles. Panic set in as the shadows closed in around them, the radio now emitting distorted whispers that echoed the mansion's haunted history. In the heart of the forest, Scene and Jake found themselves entangled in a web of malevolent forces, their night drive morphing into a nightmare from which escape seemed impossible. As the darkness deepened, so did the mysteries of the haunted woods, and Scene could only hope to uncover the secrets that would set them free. The rain relentlessly drummed against the windshield as Jimmy gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles turning white. The night was shrouded in darkness, broken only by the feeble glow of his headlights cutting through the downpour. His worn-out truck rumbled along the desolate highway, the tires humming a haunting melody as they rolled over the wet asphalt. Jimmy had been on the road for hours, the monotonous drone of the engine lulling him into a trance-like state. The rhythmic pitter-patter of raindrops created an eerie soundtrack, amplifying the solitude of the night. The occasional flash of lightning revealed shadowy trees looming over the road like silent sentinels, their branches swaying ominously in the wind. As he drove deeper into the blackness, Jimmy couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Glancing into his rearview mirror, he caught a fleeting glimpse of a pair of distant headlights. They appeared to be gaining on him, but every time he stole a glance, they seemed to retreat into the darkness. Unease settled in the pit of his stomach, and Jimmy's tired eyes scanned the surroundings for any sign of civilization. The GPS on the dashboard flickered sporadically, providing more frustration than guidance. He reached for his phone, hoping to call for directions or assistance, but no signal bars mocked him from the corner of the screen. An eerie chill crept down his spine as he considered the possibility that he might be lost. The relentless rain made it hard to discern landmarks, and the oppressive darkness seemed to warp the familiar into the unfamiliar. Jimmy clenched his jaw, determined to press on and find his way through the night. The mysterious headlights continued to play cat and mouse, a silent pursuer in the lonely journey. With each passing mile, Jimmy's apprehension grew, a knot tightening in his chest. Little did he know, this night drive held more than just the torment of the relentless rain. The persistent rain showed no mercy, transforming the world outside Jimmy's truck into a distorted, phantasmagoric landscape. His headlights flickered intermittently, casting eerie shadows that danced across the drenched road. As he navigated the winding turns, the sense of being watched intensified, and a sense of dread settled over him like a heavy cloak. Desperation crept into Jimmy's voice as he muttered to himself, "Just a little further, Jimmy. You'll find your way." His tired eyes darted between the road and the rearview mirror, where the elusive headlights continued their enigmatic pursuit. Suddenly, a sharp turn loomed ahead, and Jimmy's heart pounded in his chest. The truck skidded on the slick surface, tires protesting against the wet asphalt. With a desperate twist of the steering wheel, he managed to regain control, narrowly avoiding disaster. The headlights in the mirror flickered and disappeared momentarily, as if even the pursuer struggled to navigate the treacherous road. As the rain intensified, Jimmy spotted the dim glow of a solitary gas station in the distance. Relief washed over him like a wave, and he accelerated toward the oasis of light. The mysterious headlights remained absent for a moment, giving Jimmy a false sense of security. He pulled into the gas station, the worn bell above the door chiming as he entered. The cashier, an elderly man with tired eyes, glanced up from his magazine. "Storm caught you, huh?" Jimmy nodded, wiping raindrops from his face. "Yeah, and there's someone tailing me. Been behind me for miles. Can't shake him." The cashier frowned, casting a wary glance toward the window. "Ain't nobody else on the road tonight, son. Must be your imagination." Doubt gnawed at Jimmy's mind, but the promise of shelter and direction spurred him back into the storm. Little did he know that the gas station's flickering lights cast shadows on a figure standing in the corner, an unseen passenger waiting for the night drive to continue its haunting journey. As Jimmy left the shelter of the gas station, he hesitated for a moment, glancing at the darkened road ahead. The rain fell with renewed intensity, the relentless assault making visibility even more challenging. His fingers tightened around the steering wheel as he braced himself for what lay ahead. The mysterious headlights reappeared in his rearview mirror as he merged back onto the desolate highway. The gas station's dim glow faded into the distance, leaving him once again at the mercy of the night. Jimmy's mind raced, contemplating the possibilities of who could be trailing him and why. The unsettling feeling lingered, refusing to be dismissed. Determined to find answers, Jimmy pressed on, his knuckles turning white again as he gripped the steering wheel. The road seemed to stretch into an endless abyss, the rain transforming the world into a murky dreamscape. The occasional lightning flashes illuminated gnarled branches and ominous shapes, lurking at the edge of the forest. His headlights flickered momentarily, casting elongated shadows that seemed to dance alongside the truck. In the midst of the darkness, the mysterious pursuer closed in, their headlights now glaring in his rearview mirror. Panic set in, and Jimmy's foot pressed harder on the gas pedal. The winding road blurred as he desperately tried to outpace the ominous presence. As the tension mounted, the headlights behind him suddenly swerved into the oncoming lane. The truck roared past, leaving Jimmy in a whirlwind of spray and darkness. Relief washed over him, but it was short-lived. The mysterious truck abruptly braked, forcing Jimmy to swerve to avoid a collision. The sudden maneuver sent him skidding off the road, the tires biting into the muddy shoulder. Heart pounding, Jimmy fought to regain control as his truck teetered on the edge of the forest. The mysterious truck idled in the distance, its silhouette ominous against the backdrop of the storm. It was then that Jimmy noticed a figure stepping out from the shadows, obscured by the rain. A voice, low and haunting, carried through the storm. "Jimmy, we've been waiting for you." The figure emerged from the darkness, revealing a silhouette cloaked in a tattered raincoat. A hood obscured their face, and raindrops glistened on the brim as they approached with deliberate steps. The ominous tone of their voice sent shivers down Jimmy's spine, freezing him in place. "Who are you?" Jimmy's words quivered in the cold night air. The figure paused, letting the rain speak for them before finally pulling back the hood. A shock of wet, tangled hair clung to the person's face, revealing features that struck a chord in Jimmy's memory. It was someone he thought he had left behind in the shadows of his past. "Rachel," he stammered, disbelief and fear intertwining in his voice. She nodded, her eyes holding a haunted expression. "You can't run forever, Jimmy. It's time to face the truth." A chill ran down Jimmy's spine as memories, long buried, resurfaced. Rachel, a specter from his past, now stood before him, a ghost he never thought would catch up with him. The storm intensified, as if the heavens themselves were weeping for the secrets about to be unveiled. Rachel pointed a finger toward the forest. "They're waiting for you there, the ones you left behind." Jimmy's mind raced, piecing together the fragments of a life he had tried to forget. The night drive wasn't just a journey through the storm. It was a reckoning with the ghosts he had left in his wake. As he hesitated at the edge of the forest, the ominous glow of distant eyes peered through the shadows. The truth unraveled like a tattered tapestry, and Jimmy had no choice but to confront the consequences of his past. The night drive, once a simple journey through rain and darkness, had become a passage into the haunting corridors of his own history.